Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Coriander, here we are. It's the moment that I know you've been waiting for since the beginning of us
Me, I
doing
think
this
you.
series. No, it's not. uh, so, look, you guys know what we're going to do. We've been going through every Friday the 13th movie. And now we're here. The ninth movie, Friday the 13th, part nine. No, I'm sorry. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday from 1993, directed by Adam Marcus. Um, so, Coriander, I want to get a quick take from you. We're going to see who's in the chat and we'll get going on this thing. What do you think when you think of Jason Goes to Hell? And be real, because there's no lying here. And shout out,
Be real.
let me just say this right now. Shout
Oh,
out to
no.
Killian. I'm gonna hold it down for Killian because
Yeah.
he's not here today. We might do a second part to this discussion because you know how we get. But anyways, what is your thoughts that come to mind?
So I don't dislike it as much as you two.
Stop the lies.
What do you
Stop
mean?
the
No,
lies.
I'm not lying.
Okay, go ahead.
Honestly,
All
I
right.
mean, I enjoy Steven. I liked him in the series, and I liked him in this movie. I mean, come
Hmm.
on. Just because Kane wasn't through the whole damn thing, I get it.
Not through the
Ooh.
whole thing. He was in there for like 14 minutes.
Hey,
14 minutes.
he was in the beginning, in the middle, and in the
He
end.
was
He
not
was
in the
there.
middle. The
In the
reflection.
mirrors.
Oh my god. All right.
It counts. It
It
counts.
doesn't count. They were
Like I
reaching.
said, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It has its moments where it's enjoyable.
All right. Okay. Let's see who's in the chat, and then I'll give my quick take. Castellar, he knows what's up because he says Creighton Duke is a fantastic character, and he
He
truly is.
is.
He's the best thing in
Yeah.
this movie. There's not even a question about it. Bluck is in the chat, one of our new patrons. What's going on, Bluck? Is saying Stephen Williams was somewhat of a regular on Fate's favorite show, Supernatural. Laugh out loud.
Who doesn't love Supernatural, man?
Yeah. What's up, Chris? Saying can't wait. Miss Miss Carter saying I can't believe I'm actually waiting to watch this. Jason Goes to Hell can go to hell in my book. You're not
Aw.
lying. You're not lying. Beth's in the chat. What's up, Beth? Ginger
Hello.
Ninja. All
Hey.
right. And let's see, we got a couple other people in here too. I thought I saw someone else. Obviously, we've got Eric saying, okay, let's
Hey.
do this. The torch is raised. Oh man. Here we go.
He's
And for
got it
some,
raised high.
hey, he's the one that can do it. He's the one that can do it.
Right?
Um, Chris saying, love you guys. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for being here. My man Neil is in the chat saying, hey guys.
Hello.
Patrick's in the chat. What's up? What's up? Str- Strange Monkey saying, why must I be stuck at work during this glorious occasion? Right.
Ah, that's a bummer.
What's up to the insane one saying hello? What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Frenzy's in the
Hey.
chat. Oh boy.
Nice.
Uh-oh. Saying, hey everyone. Uh-oh. This might be set up for something here. We got the two bearded losers here together. All right.
That's
All right.
awesome.
He's he said, let's go, Eric. It's your baby. Oh man.
Ah.
Well, now let me just say this. This movie, and we did this episode on the old channel, and I've been waiting. I've been counting down the days, even more than Eric, when we would redo this because we had such a fun discussion about it before. This movie, for me, okay, and again, this is all opinion. We're all having fun. It has a lot of flaws. It has a lot of flaws. And I'm looking at it from the lens, Coriander, of a Friday the 13th movie. That's the lens I'm
Mm.
looking at it through. Now, we've watched 8 of these movies, and I can honestly say 7.5 of those movies I really enjoyed. Okay. And
Yeah.
here we go. And here we go with this one. So it's not a favorite of
Okay.
mine. I actually have a story about it. I'll tell you guys because I literally went to the theater to see Jason Goes to Hell. Me and the two other people inside of the theater, and I should have known that that was basically the setup for me. You
You
know,
know,
I
that was just like with Jason X. I had a friggin' it was just me and, my ex, so what can you say? Sometimes you just hit them right, and it's, your
right?
private screening,
That's
so
right.
you gotta
Well,
love it.
yeah, I had a private screening, and yeah, it was too private for me. Anyways, we're gonna get finished getting set up. We're gonna give people another second or two to get into the chat. You guys know how we do this thing. If you're ready to rock, you know what time it is. For the for
Oh,
those who
man.
might be listening to us on Spotify, I'm just shaking my head. I just want to actually say that out loud. All right, man, let's get let's get going. Hey, look, man, when I make those intros, it's usually pretty easy. This was hard to do, okay? I'm just gonna say that. Oh man. Eric saying, I don't think so. Knight's reaction in the theater. Right? I was right there with Creighton Duke. Oh man. My man Ben's in the chat. I
Hey.
am the Night Watch. What's going on, Ben? Hope you're doing all right, man. All right, so Coriander, let's start this thing off. When this movie starts off, what's your vibe? Because my vibe in the theater, 1993, was okay. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're at Crystal Lake. We got a
Yeah.
chick. Let's have some
Mhm.
fun. What are you thinking?
Sure. I'm thinking the exact same things. We got a chick. Let's have some fun. No. Yeah, it does start out just fine, just like you'd think a typical Jason movie would.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, once she's in those woods and the lights turn on and he starts taking those shots and then gets blown up, obviously it's like a what the fuck is going on factor
Right?
because, you know, my boy's gone. So it's like,
Right.
this should
Thanks,
be
Adam.
interesting.
Thanks,
Right?
Adam. Look, there he is right there.
But
He knows what he was doing, taking away the
yeah,
hero. All right, so look, man,
yeah.
when that happened in the theater, there was this I don't know, this guy that looked like he might have been in his 20s or whatever, and this lady, I don't know why she was alone. Anyways, the guy literally said, "What the fuck?" I mean, Jason was blown up. Adam Marcus talked about how they wanted to do something different. They wanted to kind of tread new ground. They wanted to build up a new mythology for Jason. And that's
Mm,
why he wanted to do a lot of the things that you usually would see in a Jason movie, which you did in that, what is it, like a 9-minute sequence, something like that.
something
Um,
like that.
and that was fine. But then he
The
said,
only
well,
thing
we've,
that was interesting too, right, though, is
mhm.
how in this scene, right, and some others, Jason's like grunting and
Yes,
and it's like,
yes,
what? When did he
yes.
all of a sudden like go
Right?
So
Hey, do it
yeah, I
again.
thought that
Do
was
it again.
interesting too. No, I'm not,
Look,
but you know
listen,
what I mean.
and listen, that was Adam Marcus who was doing the grunting. He even said that if you guys watch the
Yeah,
Crystal Lake Memories documentary, which we've talked about ad nauseum, you got to watch it, or if you can get the book, it's a fantastic book. And he said, I did the noises. That was me doing the grunting. And I'm thinking, dog, when did Jason start grunting? This is not Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. What's going on?
oh
What
no.
the hell? And
Yeah,
he's not, and
right.
listen, like, okay, listen, it's one thing to just grunt, but he was like,
Yeah, he was.
come on, man. Come on. You know it's true. Coriander is trying to be
I
politically correct
no.
about this movie. Hey, listen,
No,
I
because
want, I
I
want,
do enjoy this. I never really had,
all right,
you
listen.
know, I do enjoy
All right, well, let me say this
what?
too let me say this to begin it off. I love all the Friday the 13th movies, or I should say I can have fun watching them all, including this one, okay? Like this was definitely not, the most horrible movie I've ever seen or whatever. But as a Friday the 13th movie, I think they made a lot of mistakes. Um, we got my we got my man Jack. Jack's in the chat. What's going on? Saying, "Hey there." All right. Strange Monkey is trying to preach the gospel to me, saying, "Be strong, Knight. You're gonna get through this." Right? I don't know, man.
You
Hey,
should
look.
have heard him watching it. Like every few minutes, he's like bitching about something. Like, oh my
Uh,
god! It was like,
hey,
wow,
you
yeah.
heard a lot
If
of me
only
going
we
like,
recorded it.
I know, man. Well, we got to do a watch along of this thing one day. But
Oh, yeah. One day,
see,
yes.
see,
Well,
that
no,
tells
because
me
you just
that you
watched.
don't like it. You don't even want
No,
to do
it's
a
just
watch
because
along.
no,
Be honest.
it's just because we just watched it.
Yeah, right. Hey, listen, listen. Ben
Oh,
knows what's up.
man.
My man Ben, he always comes to the rescue. He's like all downhill from there, though. Right? Right? Eric saying blowing up Jason in the first 5 minutes mean all bets are off for the ninth entry. That is true. Now I will say this, and I'm being honest. I'm being honest. When I saw it, it totally blew my mind that they blew up Jason. And
Yeah.
I did start to think, well, geez, what's gonna happen? You know, this is crazy. That lasted for about 20 seconds, and then reality hit in. And let me also say something else. And I don't know, you guys in the the live chat, let us know. Let me just show this to you again. Coriander, let's be real. What do we think
Yeah.
of the design of
No.
Jason?
I didn't, the
We've seen
mask didn't
8
really
different
bother me
versions.
like it bothers you, right? It's his head, his mutant head that I didn't really care for at all.
I don't know what
His
the
head never looked that bubbly and that misshapen, and yeah, I didn't care
yeah,
for that at all.
yeah, well, they talked about how they wanted to make it look more mutated and they wanted
Mm.
look, let's be real. This is not really a slasher Friday the 13th. This is more like a creature feature Friday the 13th. Again, I can appreciate them trying to do something different, but as usual, and I've got two other examples, when you try to explain a mythology, it usually brings you into what we call dark territory. Okay. And for any of you guys that have been around long enough, you guys know what we mean when we say dark territory. Because when you try to explain the mythology, a lot of times you'll trip yourself up, which is what in documentaries and interviews, even Adam Marcus, the director, said. He said that after the experience of directing this film, he learned that, he needs to respect the audience a bit more. He knew that they took some
Mm.
chances that didn't pan out. Again, I give
He
them
knew he
credit for
fucked
trying.
up. Right.
You said it, not me. But listen, anytime, and I know Eric is in the audience, probably shaking his head, but that's okay. But listen, this is for real though. Anytime you try to over explain the mythology, okay, you usually run into some issues, one way or the other. You have to be very careful. But we've seen it fail on two other major occasions when we talk about the Trinity, Curse of Michael Myers. They tried to over explain his mythology, it didn't work. Freddy's Dead. They tried to over explain his mythology. It didn't work. And for those who watch our Deadly Venom stream monthly, you guys know what I'm going to say. Hellraiser 4, which is when that franchise started to take a nosedive. You can't try to over explain the mythology. Number one, it's usually never going to be as interesting as what people imagine. Okay. But let's get on to something else here. One of the shining lights in this movie was Stephen Williams as Creighton Duke. I think he was a
Yeah.
fantastic character. What did you think of him?
He was enjoyable.
Mm,
I mean, I loved his whole outfit. He even picked it, so I thought that was cool. Um,
nice.
and yeah, he wanted to dress like a cowboy. And yeah, he's brutal,
He is
and
brutal.
which he should because I guess, reading the backstory on him, his girlfriend or fiance, whatever she was killed by Jason. So that's why he's like so fixated on him and everything.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
it would have
get it.
been. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was a cool character to bring in, no doubt. Ben,
Mm.
Ben saying they couldn't afford Dream Demons though, had to go with Jason Worms, right? Eric says keyword fun. That's what this movie is, and this series needed. Gotta be fresh. Yes, it's called A New Beginning and Jason X. Um, anyway, I'm just I'm
Jeez.
just messing with him. 300 pounds of bubble gum in a 200-pound sack. What is Ben's on a
Damn.
roll, man. Ben is on fire. Good for you, man. Good for you. Wayne's in the chat too. What's going on, Wayne? How you doing? Yeah, but look, the bottom line is I think that they tried to do some stuff that didn't work. Now we're doing all this talking, but I thought what was interesting too is they actually had Kane Hodder in the movie with a little
Yeah.
line. I thought that was kind of cool. And from
Mhm.
all accounts, he enjoyed that too. But the other thing too, Coriander, Jason, I know we're going all over the place, but that's okay. Jason is blown up. His
Yeah.
heart is taken into like a lab. They're studying it. You got Richard Gant, who's, you know, whatever, doing the autopsy. And then that's when it
Hmm.
happens, Coriander. We realize that this is a body hopping episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Jason's evil can go from one body to another. And look, you guys that have been around long enough, you guys know what I'm about to say. This is taken directly from The Hidden, okay, which is a fantastic sci-fi action thriller
He needed to
movie.
be reborn. He had to be reborn. So come on, he had to do a little body jump until he hit the right.
You know what?
Stop giving me that head.
I can't even give you the right look. I really can't. Let me. So he's
Oh
body hopping
man.
all around. But here's the other thing, Coriander. We also find out that Jason has a sister played by the amazing Erin Gray from Buck Rogers
Yeah.
and so many other great things.
Right.
Jason has a sister, and there's this whole mythology that Creighton Duke, he's basically our info dump. He says that a Voorhees is the only person that can either make Jason reborn or
Hmm.
destroy him. And as we
Hmm.
know in this story, there's only Erin Gray's character.
Three.
Right.
Yes.
Three. Erin Gray's character, her daughter, and her granddaughter, which is a
Hmm.
baby. Which, by the way, the co-writer of the script said bringing a baby into this movie was the worst thing that he did, and I kind of agree. It's like it didn't do anything. Coriander, what's going on? Tell
That was
me.
another vessel. If the other two failed, he had the baby.
You know what? I
Ah.
cannot wait till we have an episode of Slasher Movie Club. So look,
Oh
bottom line,
no.
we're not going to take all day on this, but bottom line, Jason inhabits the body of the autopsy, Richard Gant, who played autopsy guy, and then basically body hops into the sheriff. The sheriff goes after Erin Gray, and they do have that one scene. I will say there were some cool moments because they have that scene where
Mhm.
he's attacking her, and your
Yeah.
favorite thing about the middle of this movie is they look in the mirror and she sees
And
that it's
there he
Jason.
is.
Oh, there's
There
Kane.
he is.
3 seconds of Kane. Woo! Oh my God, you got to be joking me. Um, so I know people are like, "What are you guys doing in this episode, man?" Jack, Jack is saying, "I remember shaking my head when the movie ended." Right, right. Oh my God. And you gotta love Eric. Eric says Jason was in this more than he was in part five. Just saying.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on, Eric. He was
It's
in five.
true.
Oh
We
my
had the
God.
fucking imposter.
Okay,
Right?
but
In
let
the
me ask you
beginning, it
this.
was like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Roy was Jason. Listen, let me ask you this. Did you like five better than Jason Goes to Hell? Be real. Be
Come on
real.
now. What kind of question is that?
It's
You
a good
know?
question. Because you know the answer.
I'll pass on that.
Right.
No.
Blood,
I
blood
enjoyed
is
them both, but I did like five
wow.
just a little more.
A
Yeah, I
little
just said
more?
it.
A little more?
Well, you didn't have Jason in this either. Come on. For someone who needs Jason.
You know what? I'm gonna get in touch with Deborah Voorhees and let her know you said that. No, just
E. Oh, E, stop it.
Blanca saying you just can't hate a Friday 13th movie because they don't care if their movies are shit as long as they have fun. That is so true. It is
Yeah.
true.
And that's
And
what these directors were trying, at least the director and these guys were trying to do, was
that's
have
a good
fun
point.
with it.
Yeah, I want to bring that up
So
too. Wolfman's in the chat too saying the worst Friday 13th movie in my opinion, but man, I love the tent scene. That was the grossest kill. And that's the thing, it was like the grossest kill ever in this movie. A good kill, practical effects though. Frenzy says, "Stop. Stop." He says greatest horror movie of the 90s, best Jason movie, best horror movie ever made, second to Pet Cemetery. Are you speaking for Eric? Are you speaking for Eric? Stop it,
oh
Frenzy.
no.
Stop it.
That's
And and and,
you
and
too.
Eric, listen. And Eric, he knows that he won't mind me saying this. He said, because we had an episode on the Venoms, because we were talking about best horror movie of the decades, and Eric said that Jason Goes to Hell was the best horror movie of the 90s. So I just want to throw that
He
out there
did.
too. He's got a torch high for this thing, man. He really does. Thanks, Wayne. Um, Eric saying Duke is one of the coolest characters in the entire franchise, and that includes Tommy Jarvis. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Creighton Duke is, like
Right.
I
And to
said,
think we could have had Tommy in this movie, but it didn't
really.
happen. We
How
got
so?
Steven instead.
How
Yeah.
so?
Oh,
Well,
because
I think I
well,
heard about
that's
that too. Because at first, Adam
yeah,
Marcus wanted it to be Tommy Jarvis's character in this movie,
yeah. But
but
because of
they
New Line Cinemas, they didn't own the rights to Tommy, so they
right,
couldn't use him in this movie. But he did want Tommy Jarvis in this film, so
yeah,
that would have
yeah,
been cool.
that would have helped it out, no doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. Michael was in the chat saying, "Hi, what's going on? What's going on, Michael? Peyton, what's up? How you doing?" Wayne saying, "Just stop by to say hi and bye." This movie goes to hell, right? Eric says, "Keep going, Coriander. Ignore Night giving you the look."
I
Dan knows.
am.
Dan knows what's up. He's saying the hidden is fun. That's right. That they took the idea from the hidden. They know that, and it's funny because in the documentary, Adam says um, that he had never seen the hidden before then, and when they had the movie put together and they realized that it was very similar to the hidden, he said something like, "Oh wow, well that's a tough coincidence." It's like, all right, come on now, you know the drill. Here's one more thing I wanted to say too is that because you were talking about they wanted to have fun with the movie, and that's what they talked about. But here's my thing: like you can have fun, but still take the movie seriously, and we'll talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
when we get to Freddy versus Jason, because there's some
But
common
they wanted to take
things
it to that next level,
in this
almost like
movie.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Almost kind of
but
like Freddy, what is it? Freddy part, which one? Where he's with Roseanne.
Freddy's dead. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Just like that
But
one.
but the thing of it is that you went so far off to the side of the mythology. That's where I have the issue. It's like here's the things that could have made it better. One, having Jason in the movie more. At least another 10 minutes or so. He just was not in the movie long enough. Even at the end,
So
because Adam
10 more minutes would have made
I'm
it that much better for you.
no. I'm saying that's one thing. That's one thing.
Oh, okay.
Number two, they have to take away some of the the way that they were having fun with it. I think it made it too off for me. Whereas something like Jason Lives had some fun with the movie as far as being meta, but it was in the structure of a more gothic take on Jason. Like they took that seriously. Tom McLaughlin, he had a very high respect for the film. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Adam Marcus, he was young. He even admits this. He was a year out of film school, and he just thought, "Hey, I'm a fan of this movie, but I want to do something crazy." Right. And it's like, no, you don't want to do something that crazy. But credit, they had some great practical effects. That scene
Yeah.
where the guy is melting away, that reminded me of Hellraiser. I don't know if it reminded
Because it's
you of
supposed
Hellraiser.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they did it just like that. Because of
Yeah.
they wanted that to remind them of what was his name?
Frank.
Oh good God. Yes.
Frank. Yeah.
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 Frank
But
Cotton. That's right.
yeah. But John LeMay obviously was the star of the series, and he's
Hmm.
the co-star in this. I thought he was pretty good as Steven. Like I enjoyed his scenes.
Yeah.
He
Me too.
also was a bright spot. But as far as Jessica, who is
She wasn't bad.
no, she wasn't bad, but they didn't give her enough to do. She's the
Yeah.
niece. She's the niece of Jason Voorhees. And again, they're building up this mythology, but there was no lead up to it. Like, if this is the other thing that could have made it better. More Kane, okay? Also, a better lead up to this whole new mythology. Jason's got a sister, there's a Voorhees house. There's only one way to kill him.
Well, where do
Um,
you think they lived at the camp
we
all
got
throughout the whole
We
year,
got the
right?
Necronomicon, so the Evil Dead is in the house. What the fuck is going on? We got all this stuff going on, man. This mythology is all over the place. Come on, you know it's true. Be real. Be real. Anyways, am still saying who directed this gem. It was Adam Marcus. It was Adam Marcus. Bluck and laugh out loud. and I haven't watched this in 20 years, right? Fran- Fritzy says, "Of course, I'm speaking for Eric. I'm not insane. Not that insane." Oh man, listen to this. Ben saying TCM2 is rolling over in its grave, hearing Coriander praising Jason Goes to Hell. That is so true. Oh my
What?
God. I basically saying,
Oh
are you
no.
listen, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but that's the fun of this. What's a better movie? Jason Goes to Hell or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
This one.
Get out. Get out.
Hey,
Stop.
I enjoyed this movie way more than, Texas Chainsaw 2. Yeah.
Wow, man.
I like it a little better than before. I'll
You
give you
do.
that.
All
But I
right.
still enjoy this one better. Yes.
What's up,
That was an easy
DMC?
question.
Wow. Michael's at night. Do you think I could survive in Friday the 13th? I don't know if any of us could survive in this movie, man, because everything was happening. Everything was all over the place. You got Jason Worms hanging out and going into people. And I mean, like I said, it was more of a creature. Look at this thing, man. That's what we got going on in this movie. That's Jason
Hey,
Voorhees,
he
guys.
had to be reborn. Come on, his body got blown up. What do you expect? You expect he's going to be some cute thing hopping around,
Oh
No.
man. Eric Eric saying, don't you dare sully this movie by speaking of Freddy versus Jason. Eric, are you come on, man. So you're saying that this, I love Eric. So you're saying that this movie is better than Freddy versus Jason. And of course, at the end of the series, we're going to rank them all anyways. But Eric, let me know if your vibe is that this movie is better than Freddy versus Jason. This is a good one, man. Some great characters other than Duke as well. Like I said, I liked Steven. I liked Steven. Jessica was okay. And, some of the side characters were okay. Erin Gray was good, but they didn't give her much to do. And she even talked about that scene when Jason goes back into her after she's dead to be reborn. She said that she didn't know that that was going to happen in the script. So she was kind of, upset that a scene like that was shot after she was done her filming. Now, Coranda, what do you think about that point? Because that's a big point too.
Well, I can see if you don't know that that was going to happen, why you would be upset. But it kind of makes sense because he's going to be reborn, whether he's going through someone's mouth or through another
Right.
hole. I mean, it's going to happen. So,
But I'm saying, as far as the way that they did that, they didn't let her know that that's what was going to happen to her
yeah, that
character.
they should have. They should have.
Yeah.
Because if she said that's, I don't want that to happen, then they should have,
Yeah.
listened to the poor
Yeah.
lady. But
All right.
obviously, this guy did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah. Neil saying, I've only seen this once. I'll never watch it again except for when I review the franchise. Uh-huh. Eric is saying, I agree, Coriander. It's better than TCM2. Eric, come
Yeah.
on. He's saying 10 times better than Freddy versus Jason, if not more. Wow. Okay, Eric, look, if you can hear me, I got to bring you on, man. We got to talk about this thing all together as a family. We got to have a family moment, like an intervention type of moment. You got to come on here and talk about this with us. Like you let me know if that's doable. You let me know. Joel is in the chat and I've had this movie in my collection but never watch it. Great cast, wasted in this. I agree. I agree.
Mm.
He's like, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we're good. Listen, there is a person that is the biggest defender of this movie, and he deserves to have his moment to talk about this because whoo, whoo,
Bring him
whoo.
on.
All
Damn
right,
it.
let's bring him in. You guys know who he is from Hey Internet Eric here, our good friend Eric.
Oh, hi guys.
Hey, hey, what's up,
Nice.
man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All
How are
right,
you?
look,
You seem like you're having a hard time.
look, man. You
I'm
already know
specifically
what's up.
talking to you, Knight.
I know, but you know what's up. You
Mm.
know what's up with this. Listen, I've said this before, and for folks that don't know, Eric is a huge fan of this, and that's fine. And you did. You're laughing at that. Ben saying the only thing I'll give this movie is that it made me hungry for a Jason burger.
2 for 1.
They did look good, right?
Joe, what's up? What's up, man? So listen, Eric did a video talking about his love for this movie, why it's not a bad movie, and so forth. I gotta admit, I watched that thing, and it made me look at it a little bit differently because I looked at it with a lens of just as a horror fan, right? So that's why now I have this as my little disclaimer. As a horror movie, yeah, this movie is got a lot of great things in it, you know. Just as a horror movie, like, you know, Creighton Duke, I like John D. LeMay. You know, for the 13 and a half minutes that Kane's on the screen, that's great stuff too. Practical, you know it's true. Look, he's looking at you right now. He's
still saying I was in this movie more than part 5.
He's looking at you saying, "Be real, Eric." No, I'm just joking. But no,
I know.
so you got Kane in it.
Mhm.
You got some nice practical effects, and I appreciated that. So you had some good scenes, but to me, it was disjointed a little bit, just even as a horror film. But as a Friday the 13th film, okay, as a Friday the 13th film, it just didn't. Listen, Eric, tell me this. I know you love the movie, but just from the point of view that I'm looking at it, I think they should have brought us the information of the mythology a little bit better, like a little bit of a better lead into the mythology. Like all of a sudden he's got a sister. All of a sudden they got a family house. There's a family dagger or whatever. Like if they had explained that a little bit more within a nice flow of the movie, I think I could have, or other Friday the 13th fans that have an issue with this movie, I think I could have accepted it a little bit better. It's like, it just seemed like it was out of the blue. Does that, what do you think of that?
I get your point, because, you know, again, yeah, we have this family that's coming out of nowhere. We have, you know, Creighton Duke knows Jason's history, and we don't know anything about Duke. But I look at it this way, and I've always said this is the 9th movie in a movie that, other than, you know, a couple, you know, tongue-in-cheek moments, it's been the same film over and over. Kids go to camp, kids get slaughtered, you know, or kids go into the woods, kids get slaughtered, and you need something fresh. Right. And what I like here is, and the thing is, and I'm not speaking to you specifically, Knight, but when people say like they go too far left or stuff like that, but they excuse him battling someone with telekinesis. You know what I mean? That's still kind of out there, you know, just replace the demon baby or whatever you want to call it with telekinesis. It's still kind of a monster movie. Jason Lives was a monster movie. He's literally resurrected like the Frankenstein monster. So it's already going down this over the top, cheesy, goofy route. I love this movie because, like I said in the chat, when Jason's blown up within the first 10 minutes, you don't know where we're going.
Right. Yes, I agree.
It's 100% fresh, and I love that. Yeah. And for me, from beginning to end, it's nonstop fun, and that's why I love it. Again, maybe if this was like part 3, and then they brought in the Jason worms and stuff like that, I'd be wondering what the hell's going on. But this is the 9th film in a franchise right now. I'm already ready for something new. I'd never seen The Hidden, so I'm not, even though I have since then, and it's very similar. So I can agree that it's could be a ripoff, maybe. But it's just, this movie to me is the perfect fun horror movie. You have great characters. Duke is, like I said, one of the best characters in this franchise.
Yeah, I agree.
You also have likable characters like that you can have fun with. I like Steven a lot as the would-be hero. I love Joey B and her husband and son, the owners of the diner. Yeah, because they are so much fun, and they are such opposites of each other. You have the loud, vulgar, boisterous woman married to this teeny tiny little man, but they work perfectly. They are the best comic relief that is needed for this movie, I think. The gore, you've already praised that. It's K&B. And this channel has already said, you know, practical effects are where it's at. Yeah. You have the tent scene, and we're talking the unrated cut too. The tent scene right there, the guy melting. You know, that's an ongoing scene. You know, the different stages of him melting is so disgusting. And like with part 6, you have a mixture of the action, because part 6 we had car chases and this and that. We have a shootout at a diner. We have the great massacre at the police department.
Yeah.
So much fun is in this movie. I overlook the backstory because also, if you think about it, we only know about Jason's mother. We know nothing about his. This was the first time his dad was ever mentioned. You know what I mean? So I let that slide. All the mythological stuff, I don't really care, because who knows, if you want to look into it, maybe that stuff was on his dad's side. You got to remember, this man's been dead since part 4. So you got to let some bit of leeway happen.
No, that's true. And I agree. But I'm just thinking that if they explained it a little bit better, like I just think that it would have flowed in a way where it's like, wait a minute, where did this come from? I'm saying it could have enhanced the movie, and again, like you said, it's had different things over the years, over the different sequels, and that's true. But even with Jason Lives, yes, he became literally a creature, but that movie is still a slasher movie, and this movie isn't as much of a slasher movie, which I'm not saying makes it bad, but I'm just saying it's different, and not in a way that I think works well for a Friday the 13th movie, and again, I look, it is what it is, but I mean, when I think of all of the other entries, and I don't want to get too much into the whole idea of, ranking it, because we'll do that when the time comes. But this one, there's obviously different ones, like you said, part 7 with the telekinesis, but they showed the backstory of her as a girl, and even though whole series, you have to suspend disbelief, because Jason himself, you got to suspend disbelief. But at least with part 7, they go through to me anyways, a better setup for what you would see later on, because they show her as a child. They show her, basically it's Carrie, and we all know that, and they all said that. But with this movie, it's just kind of out of the blue. Not only that, but how Jason is depicted, like you were saying, Coriander, he's grunting, he's huffing, he's when even at the end, he sounds like Arnold.
Oh, stop! It wasn't that bad.
All right, it wasn't that bad. But I'm just saying, you heard those grunts. That's why I made sure to have that in the intro. And not only that, but even in the fight with Steven at the end, which I enjoyed Steven, fighting him and stuff like that. But Jason could have killed him like 8,000 times. Jason is throwing a playground monkey bar set at Steven. It's like, kill that son of a bitch. Like, he's playing around with him. Like, Julius didn't have this much success with Jason. And Julius was an amateur boxer. I mean, come on. Not only that, but even John D. LeMay was talking about how he was able to do all this with a broken hand, because Creighton Duke did break his hand like 2 minutes before.
A couple of fingers. It wasn't his whole hand. It was just a couple fingers. Now, come on.
See, she gets it.
She doesn't get it.
Well, here's a question for you though. We were talking about the mythology, and we need some explanation. Part 2 is one of the pretty much universally praised sequels. What about, we don't know? Did he come back to life? Was he living in the woods the whole time?
Right.
See, there's, and then now, and I'm just saying, just for that aspect.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Everyone a Friday the 13th fan. It's hard to find anyone that doesn't put 2 above. At least in their top. Not talking about your guys' ranking, but at least top 4 or at least top 3. You know what I mean? But there's no explanation on that backstory either.
No, that's true, and they totally jumped the shark. The whole idea of Jason is jumping the shark, but it was early in the franchise, and then here we are with multiple movies. And all I'm saying is, I just think the mythology could have been, if it was, I guess for me, what I'm saying, if it even, and I saw this as a kid. I was a kid when I saw this, but even as a kid, and not someone that was really analyzing a movie or analyzing any movies at that time, I just wanted to watch a Friday the 13th movie in the theater. When they brought up the whole idea of Jason's sister and the family lineage or whatever and all that, I was like, huh? What? As a kid, so all I'm saying is, I just think that they could have led into that a little bit better, and it would have been, I could have accepted it. Because see, that's, it's kind of the reverse, because you talked about part 2, and you're right. They totally jumped the shark.
Mhm.
But that was early in the process. Like if they had jumped the shark like that, let's say in part 4 or 5, people probably wouldn't have stayed on board, because it's like you're starting to build a history, you
Mhm.
know. And also by part 9, you got to remember Jason is literally an icon.
Mhm.
You know, the Trinity has been formed with him, Michael, and Freddy. So I think that's the other part of it too, is that people expected a certain way that the movie would work. Like you want to make it fresh. Like for
Mhm.
instance, go ahead, Coriander, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say with this whole sister thing, supposedly she was adopted. She put her up for adoption. So how are we
Pamela
going to
did.
know? Yeah. So
Yeah.
how are we going to know that there was a sister?
Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
Because
here's
of
the
the
thing.
adoption.
But here's the question: how do you know about the adoption? Where'd you see that?
The memoirs.
That's right. Now,
But
if they
But
had said that in the
still.
movie,
Mhm.
stop. So listen, if they had said that in the movie, like if Creighton Duke, and that's how they could have fixed it right
Mhm.
there. Creighton Duke gave a lot of information. I don't need to know about his backstory because I think that made him mysterious. So that
Mhm.
works. But if Creighton Duke had said in that scene that we played in the clip, the intro clip, where he's in the diner talking to Aaron Gray, talking about, you know, I know who you are and all that type of stuff. If he had, when he said, you know, I know who you are and all that type of stuff, if he had said, you know, I know that you have foster parents, yada yada yada, but your true mother is Pamela Voorhees, blah 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 blah. That would have helped it along quite a bit. You know what you're talking about, Coriander, which does, it's fine, but that was in Crystal Lake Memories that came
Oh,
out
stop.
10
Look,
years after
it
the
is what it
movie.
is. You can't change what
I
happened. The
know,
Now
movie's
I know,
see,
made.
I
Just
know.
accept it, man.
now
Just
see, I've
accept it.
always assumed that she was a half sister due to the father, because
Elias,
because this was the first time he was ever mentioned. We know
yes,
absolutely nothing about him, so I just
true.
put two and two together. That I always assumed like Pamela was like a single mom, got married
Hmm.
out of wedlock type of thing,
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's how I figured that's where Aaron Gray came from.
Miss Carter said, poor Knight got Eric and Coriander teaming up on him. Don't worry, Knight, I got your back. Right. No, I get it. You know,
Hmm.
look, it's a lot of different, it's a lot of different things that coulda, woulda, shoulda. All I'm saying is,
Hmm.
and here's a good example. I know some people might enjoy this parallel, some people may not. But if you look at the new Halloween movies, right? They created a new mythology via timeline, new characters, and so forth. Think about the time that they spent. Granted, I know it was 2 movies instead of 1, but let's just look at 2018, right? Look at the time they spent to build up that new mythology, that new vibe, that new rhythm with Laurie's new daughter and new granddaughter, you know, in this timeline. So, and by no means am I saying that Friday the 13th is story wise on the same level of some of these Halloween movies. Some of them they are, you know,
Hmm.
but I'm just saying is I think that's a good example of how to do it in a better way so that people can understand and be invested in this change. I think they didn't give us enough to really be invested in this whole way to
But
defeat
you got to
Jason.
remember, you know, this director was like in his early 20s. He
Like,
was
yeah, he
just a
was like
kid.
25. He was right out of film school.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Hey,
How
Lamar.
cut him a little slack, you know?
No, listen, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. They tried to do something different,
Hmm.
and I can appreciate that. But even himself, even he said it, John D. LeMay said it, Sean Cunningham said it, is that it just didn't work out the way they were hoping that it would, as far as creating a new fresh mythology. That and to me, that's and that's whether you love or hate the movie, you
Right.
know. And I think for people that do love it, like Eric,
Hmm.
you can look at those flaws and put them to the side, as we all do with movies that we enjoy, and you can take the things that you like and those are amplified, and that's fine, you know,
Hmm.
that's fine. But it's still not a great Friday 13th movie, is it? Come on, let's just be real.
As
Let's
a
just be
Friday the 13th movie, yeah, I get your point, but like I said, like me as a person, I always look, like I said, at the fun factor, and this movie is just nonstop fun from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of Jason. I know you both don't. I like how his face has now become, his mask has now become a part of him.
Yeah, that's what Kane was talking about.
Because that makes a lot of sense. It's what else? I was going to say the Necronomicon thing. I think that's just a plant by Robert, because when he's going through the house and Steven's hiding in the closet or whatever, and Robert's being total douchebag, he's saying, just go talk to the guys in props, put some body parts here and there. So I think that was just, he already planted that, and that was just Adam Marcus came across and had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, no, it was a wink. It was a wink, and that was
definitely,
fine.
Because he kept throughout this movie putting little nods to, like we were saying, Hellraiser and the Necronom with like the Evil Dead. So that was kind of cool.
I totally get that. There's no doubt about it. But again, I just feel like some of the best stuff was the end, the fight with Jason, and then Jessica and so forth, the beginning, and some stuff in the middle. To me, some stuff. The diner scene actually I thought was pretty good. I did like the side characters. Here's another thing too. I think what might have helped a little bit more, because you had some really good character actors in this. I think if they had lessened the amount of characters overall in the movie, that would have given some more time for some of these folks to kind of do what they do. Because again, in the diner, you had some great moments, with Rusty Schwimmer and those guys, and it was good. But I just don't think they gave enough time for those characters to really shine, I should say. The movie is, what is it, 90 minutes, 93 minutes? I don't know. Maybe if they had another 10 minutes, I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say.
See, I look at it the opposite way. I think they're sprinkled out perfectly. Because you have all these characters, they're able to make those moments their own. So when they all come together, like you had the little moments with Joey B and her family, the 2-for-1 burger sale, the goofy stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you spread them out here and there. So finally, when everyone's together in the diner and all hell breaks loose, you don't know what's going to happen. You're either going to love her family, and they're not going to make it out no matter what. So you're either going to love their family and be like, damn, that sucks, or you're going to hate their family and be like, damn, it's about time. So I think, and then, Steven's buddy, the cop, he sprinkled out perfect. I think he's got some good comedic moments, when they're fighting outside the cop car, pulling the gun on each other. I've got a gun. Fuck you. I've got a gun. I think that's good fun that's needed, comedic wise. Yeah. Thrown in between the body hopping and the gore and all this stuff. I think it's a perfect mixture of action, horror, and comedy. And that's why I love this movie so much. Because I think the flow of it, like you said, in 90 minutes works. And I honestly, and I'm not saying, you in general, but I think a lot of people can't get past the change with the body hopping and not knowing why he can do this now. Yeah. All of a sudden. And I think that's the major thing that people, kick this movie about. Kick this movie for.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issues is the way they introduced this new mythology. The fact that Kane's not in the movie nearly enough. I think that it was a little disjointed in some of the moments. I don't think there was enough Duke. I don't think there was enough John D. LeMay, because I think they're the strongest characters in the movie. Yeah. Easily, in my opinion. So you needed to have them more in it. And that's what I was saying earlier. I think if maybe they had a few less characters, the ones that are left over, I think could have had a stronger presence, because when you're doing, because that's the other thing too, there's great gore in the movie, right? But this isn't a slasher movie. Like, even when we do these episodes, especially for this series, this is the 9th time that we've done this. Well, not including all the others on the old channel, but putting together some of the clips for the kills and the images and so forth, it was very hard to do that with this movie, because that's not the type of movie it is. It's much more of like a creature feature and the body hopping thing, which is fine. But again, if you're looking for this to be a slasher movie, I think you're going to be a little disappointed. The moments where there was gore or kills, it was fine. The unrated version is better, by the way. I do want to say that, because they really let things go. I think that was a smart thing they did, because they knew that they were going to have it go on home video as unrated. So that was smart. They found a way to kind of avoid the MPAA raping their movie like they did on like 6, 7, and 8. But again, it was just, look, man.
Oh no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it 100%. I do.
But it's not a bad movie, because especially Coriander and I, for Slasher Movie Club, we've seen some bad movies. We really have. So this is nowhere near a bad one, but just in the whole idea of the series, I just think, oh man, I don't know, man. Castellar
But can
says,
I just say, oh, go ahead.
Castellar was saying Duke needed to go on a road chase. Yeah, I think it would have been cool to just see a little bit more of him. I know you've got to make this fit into 90 minutes. But I would have loved to seen just a little bit more of him. You know what I'm saying? Because then at the end, when you finally got the crew together and Jason is resurrected, it's like he got killed right then and there. I know he sacrificed himself to hold Jason back. So it was an honorable death. But again, it's almost like, I guess what I'm saying is, because this is all unscripted, so this is just my thoughts, like free flow. I guess what I'm saying is, I think this movie not timing of the characters like you were talking about, Eric, but I just think if we had a little bit more Jason, a little bit more of a Friday feel with the kills, a little bit more Steven, played by John D. LeMay, and a little bit more Creighton Duke. I think those things alone, for me, as a Friday the 13th movie, would have elevated it to the point where I said, okay, even though this is totally different with the hidden vibes, I would have accepted it more,
No, I like I said, I get it 100%, and that's why I'm glad you invited me on, because I know we could have a civil conversation when we don't agree at all.
Right.
But and that's great. You can see my point, and I can see yours. I totally get how this doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie. And especially if you're expecting this, you could be very, very disappointed.
Right.
Me, on the other hand, I'm a huge, I think this might be my favorite franchise, because I love, the kills and the Jason character. After 8 movies, I need something different. I need more than just a silent stalker going after teens and killing them in unique ways. And I think what they did and how they did it was fun.
Yeah.
Like I've always said, the characters in a horror movie are the reason why I watch. Like I said,
True.
Not to step on your guys' toes with the remake, I've been public on my view on those characters, and that's why I'm not a big fan of that one. I love the characters here, and that's what draws me in. I like the cool nods to the other franchises. Like we got the crate from Creepshow in the basement.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Not just the Evil Dead stuff. The gore, the action, it's just so much fun. And when would you expect like a shootout in a Friday the 13th movie, other than say when Sheriff Garris is taking on Jason 6, we have multiple people shooting at Jason, air quotes, I'll use air quotes, because when he's possessed by Robert or whatever, again, that's something new and that's something fun. You know what I mean? And that, like I said, that diner scene when Vicky's got the shotgun, you got collateral damage too. She accidentally shoots one of the customers and stuff like that.
Right.
That's something unexpected. Air quotes, realistic in a body hopping movie. You know what I mean? So it's just new, fresh, and fun. And that's why I just love it from beginning to end.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm still saying there's no Megan in this movie. All right. So listen, this was fun. My only regret is that Kill wasn't here to talk about this, because like I said, some of the conversation is so fun, and as people know, we love the Friday the 13th franchise. So even with this movie, when I put the Blu-ray in, I was like, okay, we're gonna watch a Friday the 13th movie. So it was still fun in that way, but it obviously didn't hit on all cylinders for me. Here's another question too, Eric, that just came to my mind. In the series, when you saw this movie, how many before it had you seen?
Quite a few. I'd seen the original. I'd seen part 2. I'd seen 7 quite a few times. So this wasn't like, I don't have the nostalgia factor for it because it's my first one, like Dream Child or something like that. But
yeah. Because I know some folks, their idea of it is like if they came halfway into the franchise, they look at it a little bit differently, which makes sense. I mean, obviously, when you first see a movie and that's what you're brought into, it makes sense. Jo- Joel says, bottom line is this movie killed the series for a decade. Well, the other thing too, as we start to end up here, they wanted to do Freddy versus Jason. That was the plan, because at this point, Friday the 13th had left Paramount and was with New Line Cinema, but they couldn't get the rights situated and so forth. So Jason Goes to Hell was kind of like their plan B. And we'll talk more about that when we get to Jason X. So, they thought to themselves, hey, let's do something different. Let's get a young, fresh director. And they did that. Again, I understand where they're coming from. But again, I want to position Halloween 2018 into this conversation. Halloween 2018 to me, and I don't know you, well, I think I know what you think, Coriander, but to me is very fresh to the franchise, the way that they do things and create a new mythology. It's a new timeline too, but I don't mean just the new timeline, but a new mythology for Michael. And I think they do it in a better way, especially Kills. I mean, Kills is, well, we won't get into all that, but just some of the things they added to the mythology, they did it in a way where it flows into the series. Whereas with this one, I think it was just such a jolt. Sometimes that's a good thing. There's no doubt about that. And you see that in many franchises, whether you're talking about Terminator Genesis, or you're talking about Alien Resurrection, or I should say Alien 3. So, a lot of franchises have to do that. But more often than not, to me, it's usually trouble when you're trying to add things to a history, like in Freddy's Dead or Curse of Michael Myers. It's like, I don't know. So anyways, that's one of my final thoughts. But for you guys in the chat, let us know what you think about Jason Goes to Hell in the comment section. I know there's a lot. There's a lot of opinions out there, and it's a very divisive movie. And Adam Marcus knows that too. I got to give him credit. I think he really understands the positives and the negatives that are associated with this movie. I think he was trying to hit a home run, and he knows that it necessarily wasn't for a lot of folks.
He's very, very self-aware of its history and the fan base, which is, I mean, he pokes fun at himself. Like when he was in the middle of making a documentary on this movie. Like it's like the dark heart of Jason Voorhees, and then COVID drove it to hell. He's just now getting back into doing it. And when he was doing his like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, whatever the fundraiser was, he's like, why would you take a 22-year-old out of film school and just hand him a franchise? Why did I misspell Voorhees on the mailbox? He's very self-aware. And I think, like I said, eventually it was a few years ago, he said Jason is a Deadite, because of the dagger and the Necronomicon. I think he was just trolling a lot of the haters too, because there are people who, when you hate a movie or you dislike a movie, you will just kick it until it's dead.
Right.
And they look at, they'll say, what is so bad with it, but they won't look at, the positives. And I think he was just, he was rolling with it. He's like, yeah, sure. Jason's a Deadite. You already hate my movie. I'm just going to say he's a Deadite. He knows its reputation. I think he rolls with it and has fun.
Yeah, I agree. So, I give him credit for that, because there's a lot of people, especially when you talk about directors or artists in general, when they don't really recognize, whether it's the good or the bad of what they do. And that's why I really do enjoy talking about this movie, because to me, there's two sides to it. And, obviously we're having fun with it and stuff like that. But there is real story to it. Cause like I said, when I went to the theater, I was ready. I had my popcorn, I had my Pepsi. The theater was, a little empty. It was a hot summer day. I had the air conditioner was flowing on me. And I'm like, I'm going to watch a Friday the 13th movie. And then it just took me on this ride that I wasn't really ready for. Again, I've come to appreciate a lot of the things about it since then. Some of that through people that talk about the things they love, like you, Eric, you know what I mean? And of course, the stinger at the end, with the whole idea of Freddy versus Jason teasing it, of course, we'd have to wait, 15 more years, or whatever it was. But
at least 10, I think.
Yeah, it was at least 10. But, I was thinking, okay, this movie was kind of the bridge to that. So there was also that idea in my head too, as far as my overall thoughts on it. But anyways, Peyton saying coolest channel vibe out there, in my opinion. Thanks a lot. We appreciate that. We really do. Miss Carter, Plan B was an epic failure. I know. But definitely let us know what you think in the comment section down below, in the comment section, because that'll help the video. Please give the video a like if you haven't already. That would help support the channel. Eric, I appreciate you jumping in on here with us.
It was fun. Always fun to talk this movie, whether I got to defend it or not.
Yeah.
I couldn't let Coriander do it herself.
Right. Yeah, somebody had to
Thank
save
you.
her, I know. And Brian jumped into the chat too. What's going on, Brian? How
Hey,
you
Brian.
doing? Nice to see you, man.
Hello.
So anyways, Wayne says, Coriander, this movie belongs in hell. What are your thoughts?
Hey, what can I? He was dragged there, right? So I guess it's there. So,
Was he?
There you go.
Oh man. Anyways, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun to talk about it. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. We'll be back. We might do a part 2 to this discussion because I'm really sad that Killian couldn't be here. But anyways, you get the vibe of what we think of this movie. Some highs, some lows, some love, some frustration. So it is what it is. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out.
Cheers.
Up,